Hey guys, welcome back. So today we're out the range with the Sig SPEAR, but wait, not just any Sig SPEAR. This is the 308 I've shown in many videos before. Today, we have a special guest, the 6.8 by 51 Sig SPEAR with some of the ammunition with the steel heads on it, the high pressure stuff. Now this is not the AP stuff. This is a 113 grain solid copper bullet. And it's a ball round. And it's interesting because I didn't know about the 113 grain bullet until Sig sent me some of the ammo for testing. So we're going to do some testing today, but before we get started, we're going to shoot the 308 version. This is an SPR. This is my baby. Again, you've seen it in many videos here on the channel. And yeah, the 6.8 by 51 is one of those cartridges I'm extremely interested in. We have some body armor out here today, some level 4 armor. We have some ballistics gel, and we're going to do some accuracy testing. We want to find out what this 6.8 is capable of. All right, with that being said, let's get started with today's video. Americans are tired and frustrated by the stalling economy, inflation, endless wars, and the relentless assault on our values. Thankfully, there's companies like Patriot Mobile that still believe in America and our Constitution. I'm proud to partner with Patriot Mobile because they're on the front lines fighting for our First and Second Amendments, the sanctity of life, and our military and first responders. Take a stand for conservative causes and put America first by switching to Patriot Mobile today. You'll get the same nationwide coverage as the big providers because Patriot Mobile operates on all 3 major networks. Plus, they back their service with a coverage guarantee. Their 100% US-based customer service team will find the best plan for your needs. Keep your number, keep your phone, or upgrade. Go to patriotmobile.com/MAC or call 972-PATRIOT. Right now, get a free month when you use the offer code MAC or MAC. Don't be fooled by the other providers pretending to share your values or to have the same coverage, because they don't and they can't. Join me. Switch to America's only Christian conservative mobile provider, Patriot Mobile. Again, go to patriotmobile.com/Mac or call 972-PATRIOT for your free month of service today. So at about 10 yards, we have some clear ballistics silicone-based ballistics gel. We prefer to use clear ballistics because of its silicone base. It's stable at temperatures like today, which is about 90 degrees with high humidity. And so we don't have to worry about keeping it refrigerated. It is not the same thing as ballistics gel used by the FBI, the organic gel, but it's still a good test medium that we use in every single one of our videos, so you can draw a comparison between the cartridges that we shoot and test here on the Military Arms channel. All right, with that being said, let's go ahead and load up one round of the 113 grain 6.8 by 51. And take our shot. Whoa, dude, I saw a fireball in that gel. All right, guys, so this is kind of crazy. This is probably one of the most violent impacts we've ever seen into ballistics gel. It's definitely in the top 2 or 3. So it knocked the table over. It literally, when you watch the slow-mo video, it literally takes this block of gel and it hovers midair. It threw it in the air and it collapses back down. The bullet came through the gel, went through the first block, hit the second block. It was tumbling, hit the second block, hooked out through the cardboard, hit the table. It's gone. So if it had tracked true, it probably would have made it almost all the way or even all the way through both of these blocks, which is impressive. Wish we could have recovered the bullet. It's a solid copper. All right, so if we take a look, it's kind of dirty. There's dirt all over because it literally broke the table and everything went flying. But you come back about 7 inches, and that's where we see the stretch cavity start to emerge. It's huge, guys. The stretch cavity from this angle over here looks to be about 1, 2, 3, 3.5 inches across. You can see where the bullet at about 6.5 inches starts to tumble and yaw in the gel. It goes in straight. That tumbling starts to cause a downward trajectory, hits the second block, comes out of this one sideways, goes into this block sideways. You can see from a top-down view. Continues to tumble right on out the side of the gel, through the cardboard, through the table, and gone. So about 7 inches in, we start to see the stretch cavity to about the 13-inch point, and then it's just tumbling and cutting a path through the gel until it exits. That's quite impressive, folks. For just a solid copper bullet, that's crazy. So one of the things everybody's talking about on the internet is the armor penetration capabilities of the 6.8x51. Now keep in mind, folks, the military is using a very specific cartridge for that purpose. And that cartridge is not being sold to civilians. It's not even something that I can go to SIG and play with. They will not let you out of the building with it. They don't want you around it. It's just one of those things the Army's keeping under wraps, at least for now. So we don't have that AP ammo out here. Now, what we do have is the 113 grain solid copper bullet that's operating presumably at the higher pressures because it has the multi-part case with the steel head, and it's giving us the velocity that's advertised, which is about 3,200 feet per second out of a 16-inch barrel, which would indicate for that heavy of a bullet that those pressures are pretty high. So we're gonna shoot this at about 10 yards, which is the typical distance that we'll shoot things for ballistics testing here on the Military Arms channel. And here we have a shot stop level 4 plate, and this is rated up to 30-06 AP M2 AP. Now you'll notice there's no NIJ certification on the back of it, but they do claim that it's rated for that 30-06 M2 AP round. So we'll find out. This is something I've had in my vest for a while, so I'm just going to cycle it through. We typically test RMA armor here on the channel, but we shot our last plate a while ago, so now I'm tapping into the stuff that I've had on my kit for a while. This was manufactured in 2019, and I'm going to replace it, probably with some RMA armor. All right, so let's put this down range, do some shooting with it, a single round, right in the center, and see if we can penetrate it, and then maybe we'll shoot a couple more rounds at it just for fun. All right, here we go. All right, guys. Well, you can see where it went in, right here. And then on the back side, you can see the deformation. Give you an idea how much deformation there is. Now, FBI says that 2 inches would be potentially fatal, so this is not fatal. It would hurt. It's going to maybe break a rib, but it's probably not going to kill you. So it will stop the 113 grain. Level 4 will stop the 113 grain ball ammunition. It would be cool, as I said earlier, to be able to get my hands on some of the AP ammo, but right now that's just not something we can get our hands on. Guess not. Put it back up. Whoa. Whoa. That one hit right there. And look at that back face deformation. Yeah, I'd say it's pretty compromised. Wow, that's kind of crazy. So let's get some velocity data with the 113 grain stuff. And the website advertises the velocity at about 3,200 feet per second out of the 16-inch barrel, which is what we have here. And so let's see how close to that advertised velocity we get. Have 3 rounds loaded. Have our Garmin Zero set up. Great chronograph. I think everybody's using them now. And let's see what we get. First shot is 3182. It's right there at that 3,200 feet per second. 3196. 3218. So truth in advertising, at the exact velocity this thing's kicking out, 3,200 feet per second. And keep in mind, guys, those velocities will change with air density, temperature, things like that. So you will see a fluctuation of those velocities depending on what your atmospheric conditions are, where you're doing your testing. So right where I'd want it to be. Now, how's the recoil with the 6.8x51 versus 7.62 by 51? I'd say it's pretty comparable. You would think that, the much higher pressures of 80,000 PSI would generate more recoil forces. but as far as we can tell, it seems to be about the same. Maybe just a wee bit less perceived recoil with the 6.8, but certainly no heavier than the 308. So on that front, it's doing really, really well. So we also did some comparison earlier today, and we did shoot a little bit of video of it, and I'll roll that in. We did use a SCAR with a 16-inch barrel, the DMR version. We've done a video on it here on the channel before. It has a 16-inch barrel, 6.5 Creedmoor, and the velocities that we got were average 2682. So it is considerably slower with the same barrel length, the 6.5 Creedmoor. It's considerably slower than the 6.8x51, not surprising. That would give us, with the 120 grain bullet that we used, which is important with the 6.5 Creedmoor, 113 versus 120 grain, because we didn't have, 113 grain 6.5 Creedmoor. So within 7 grains, that gave us a muzzle energy of 1,916 foot-pounds of muzzle energy. And when you're taking a look at the Spear in 6.8x51 with an average velocity of 3196, with its 113 grain bullet, we have 2,563 foot-pounds, 2,563 foot-pounds. So considerably more muzzle energy with the 6.8 as well over the 6.5 Creedmoor. So I thought that was really, really interesting. The velocity's there. You take a look at what it does to ballistics gel. You take a look at what it does to body armor. We did do 2 shots into this. We did not get penetration, but we certainly made a mess. I mean, we destroyed the ceramic inside, absolutely devastated it. The ballistics gel was something that was really, truly impressive based on other testing we've done here. So the 6.8's definitely got the goods when it comes to the power. It certainly does. And with that higher velocity out of shorter barrels, it's going to make for shorter, handier rifles. It's going to give you ballistics that are going to be more comparable to 6.5 PRC versus 6.5 Creedmoor. And that's a lot of energy, especially if you want to hunt, if you want to use it for personal protection, things like that. Hopefully this cartridge catches on in the civilian world. Right now, it's super expensive. I get that. It's not widely available. There aren't a bunch of companies loading for it. But if the government picks it up and it becomes popular and more people start making firearms for it and more people start making ammo, the cost starts to come down. And maybe in 10 years, it'd be about the same price as Ball 308. Who knows? We can only hope. So yeah, that's pretty cool stuff. All right, so the accuracy. We've done videos with the Spear in the past, but that was in 308. This rifle, if you go back and watch our original video, is really no different than the 308 version. This one has a 16-inch barrel. My 308 has a 13-inch barrel. So aside from that, it's basically a barrel and bolt swap and maybe a recoil spring to go from 308 to 6.8x51. So it's the same rifle. I'm not going to get into field stripping it and all that. You can go watch our other video. But the accuracy is interesting. So if you take a rack grade M4 and put M855 or M855A1 in it, you're going to get about 4 MOA accuracy out of the rifle. That's pretty standard for an infantry rifle. Going back to the M1 Garand, you're looking at about 6 MOA is what the U.S. Army expected out of the rifle using ball ammunition. So that, and couple it with the fact that it's a copper bullet. We've never really gotten extreme accuracy out of 100% copper bullets in my testing over the years. And it's pushing that bullet at an extreme velocity. It's pushing it as fast as it possibly can. When you take a look at match ammunition, like 308 or 5.56 or anything that's match, generally they're not going to load that match cartridge to maximum pressures and maximum velocity. They dial it back. Because when you push things to the extreme, you give up some accuracy. So what they're going for with this 113 grain projectile, I believe, is they're going for lethality. They just want a flat shooting ray gun that hits like a ton of bricks. And I think that we've confirmed that that's what this M1, or not M113, the 113 grain cartridge is capable of. As a matter of fact, it's kind of weird. It doesn't have an M designation on the box. Here you can see the box that it comes in. It's kind of a nondescript military type packaging. So what was the accuracy? So I'm gonna show you two groups here. It's going to be the best and the worst from today's shooting, and their 5-shot groups. So the best group is going to be 3.92 MOA for a 5-shot group. I'll throw that up on the screen here. And then the worst group of the day is 4.623 MOA. And I'll throw that group up on the screen. So they're good sized groups at 100 yards. All right. So, but that, 3.9-ish MOA accuracy is about right for any other U.S. military infantry rifle using U.S. military ball ammo. Knowing that, we do want to do more videos with the 6.8x51. So what I've done is gotten onto the SIG website. They do load commercial ammunition that's not loaded to max pressures, that is just a standard brass cased cartridge, which means its operating pressures are going to be probably in the 55,000 PSI range versus 80,000 for the ammo that we have out here today. And it's hunting ammo, and I think there might even be a premium match type load on the website. So I'm going to see if I can get my hands on that. We're going to test that ammunition in a future video to see what this rifle's capable of with something other than military ball. But that type of accuracy is not surprising to me. Was I hoping for better accuracy? Yeah, who wouldn't? I'd love to see this thing as sub MOA, but you're just not typically going to see that out of an infantry rifle, especially shooting that ball ammo. This rifle is a production gun. They're starting to kick them out. These things are very expensive, but if you're interested in trying the 6.8x51, the ammo is now available on the SIG website, and firearms are slowly trickling out that chamber it, so it'd be interesting to try it out. I do want to do a comparison between this and the 6.5 PRC. I love the 6.5 PRC. It's like my new hunting cartridge, and it'll launch, and we've done videos where we shot the 6.5 and we were trying to guess what this cartridge could do in previous videos. We use the 6.5 PRC as kind of a similar cartridge because it can get that 140 grain bullet up to about the same velocity this thing can with its 135 and 140 grain rounds. And so, yeah, I want to see how it stacks up to the 6.5 PRC because I think this is a smaller cartridge in overall length that will fit into a standard .308 action like this, which makes it really, really cool. The ammo fits comfortably into a Lancer magazine that'll just as reliably feed 7.62x51 or .308 ball. So pretty cool stuff. Stick around if you have any questions or any types of testing you'd like to see us do with this rifle. Comment down below because I do want to read those comments because you guys come up with some pretty good ideas that would help us, in our testing going forward. I've already outlined what I want to do, so please add to that if you can think of something that would be really interesting to the viewers of the channel. If you'd like to support us here at the Military Arms channel, the best way to do that is to become part of our Patreon family. There is a link in the video description below. Follow that link, you'll get early access to videos like this one, direct access to me. I answer all private communications, and now we're bringing Patreons on to do podcasts with us, so please check out Patreon. Also right here on YouTube, you got the thanks and join button underneath the video player you're watching right now. Mash either one of those buttons and you can support us right here on YouTube in the age of demonetization. Please swing by, check out Copper Custom. Thank you for 16 years of support. We'll talk to you guys soon.